Right, just a basic one. I thought it might be easier for me to display it so you can see the rotation. Obviously, slam, mortal strike, heroic, rend, blah blah blah, usual stuff. Other abilities bar at the bottom. Um, Curious to see what it was going to come out. Obviously, I'm totally unbuffed apart from a battle shout that'll come up. DPS is obviously the top corner. I've increased recount so you can see it. Did a 5-minute spank on the heroic dummy, so, and it's full HP, so the execute procs will be legitimate, but you don't see execute on the bar because it's bound to my T key constantly, so it won't display because I don't need it displayed. I know where that is. The other ones I've still used to these buttons, so obviously trying to keep battle shout up. Rend drops off on a couple of occasions, mainly because I forgot to move the debuffs from underneath the unit frame to above it, so I can't actually see it because I'm mouse clicking at the minute, which is a pain. I mean, obviously starts off going up and down, sort of floating about 18, 19 to start with, but I mean, it's only a minute in and I've not had a chance to get smack into it. I'm trying to do heroic strikes above 50 rage, but I think I'm going to try and increase that till I get a full rage bar because I'm burning too much rage on it in this run, I think. When I'm recording this, the sound over it after I've done it, I haven't watched it. Overpower's procking quite nicely. Execute not so much on this as usual, but I think it's a base damage problem because I mean white hits aren't coming in very well. I mean 2600's a bit pants in my opinion, but it depends. I mean, I could get lucky. Obviously we have sunders, that sort of thing on boss mobs when we're fighting them, but I mean with this there's no sunders on it. I've not wasted the rage stacking the sunders up. Trying to pop a blade storm every time it comes off cooldown. Obviously overpower comes up main priority because that seems to be a big chunk of my DPS, the overpower procs. Mortal strike as soon as it comes off cooldown, providing overpower is not there. Trying to keep rend refreshed, but again I don't see it all the time because of mousing, so I might miss it. The only thing I've not got used to is popping bloodthirst quite frequently to get the rage back. I think I might increase that 6-button bar at the top and stick bloodthirst on the end of it so it's sort of easily accessible. Obviously the rage, I mean I've spec'd into rage increasing talents as well, apart from anger management I think, but obviously I'm still having the odd rage problem at the minute due to probably the heroic strike spamming, but I'm not glyphed for it at this exact moment. As you're watching this one, I will be about 2 minutes after I've set this render into upload, so that may make a difference because I'm still, the last glyph I had was glyph cleave, which I forgot to change. The enchants obviously aren't great. I'm only on an 85 AP enchant on the weapon, but I don't have the mats or the money to buy the mats for the berserker at the moment. Obviously I need a new trinket because I'm sat on a blue still, but it's got 50 crit on it, which is always nice, but there's nothing. Again, I'd rather have Dark Moon card greatness, but again, money. Excuse me. So, but there you go. Have a watch. A minute so on. Seems okay, but obviously you've played ARMS a hell of a lot more than I've played ARMS. Fury I could sit there and just do it without looking, but with this I need to be clicking, which is annoying the hell out of me. So if you see anything that's obviously out of place, then obviously let us know and I'll see what I can do to get it sorted. And now end of timer, sat at about 2400 DPS. Obviously it'll start ticking down a bit now because I've called it, but I mean that's totally unbuffed. Obviously basic bits, overpower, wrong one, put it back as it was. Overpowers, like I say, is probably my biggest DPS because it procs a lot, followed by my melee. Heroic strike I think is a bit high, but 5.3 should only be about 2% of my attacks I think due to rage. but again dependent on how much rage I've got at the time. Overpower crit, let's say 4.5k almost, but as you can see, glyphed and cleaving still, which I could do with getting rid of, but I've got the heroic in the bag now. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. I'm thinking, let's say, change some of the crit gems I've got, because I'm 36.44 crit, knock that down, maybe put in some more strength or some more armor penetration, and of course, let's say, blue trinket. But my expertise is fine, hits overcapped, which I need to drop, but 3707 AP, just battle shout buffed. With raid buffs I'm over 4.2 usually, so that's fine, and my crit goes up to 43% in a raid, so I think that's probably a little high. Possibly change that meta gem, because it's mainly a PvP one, just 42 AP, but it's only one I could get at the time, and change the enchant on the weapon. So with any joy, having somebody who actually plays arms a lot more than I do, have a look at it, see what you think, and obviously suggest anything you can suggest.